And we're back. Welcome to episode. Come on, you can't interrupt.
I would like to give thanks for all that has been given to us this week. All my hopes and thank you. All my hopes and dreams and put your hands together.
Should we all grab?
We should hold hands.
Hold hands.
I would like to thank whatever you believe in for bringing this day to us. We're Fred and Jeff Coupon. We're selling the team. Hallelujah, amen. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Welcome to
Standing Room Only. So, this is episode 14 with the new setup.
14.
With the new setup. So now you can see our lovely profiles and just see Ashley's face.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a different backdrop, so everything's looking fresh. Shout out.
It's different now because the show's not just a two-person deal anymore. Now we have
we have a third person.
Our kind of a moderator host person to keep us honest and introduce the topics and work on the computer so I don't have to.
Absolutely.
And now we can be like Stephen A. Smith and Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
That'd be great. So what's first up?
First up on the list, the Wilpons are selling 80% of the Mets to hedge fund billionaire Steve Cohen.
Yes. And Steve Cohen is a lifelong Mets fan.
Yeah.
Which is
good. He's from Long Island.
Long Island.
He's also CEO of Point72 Asset Management. So
listen, I mean, it's another.
He's a billionaire. He could own whatever he wants.
$13.6 billion. Yeah. I gotta tell you something. I once went to a billionaire's home for a holiday party.
Yeah.
And this billionaire was only worth 1.5, and it was extravagant.
And he was loaded as fuck.
Yeah, it's I can't even imagine this kind of money. So like,
But there's a catch.
There's a catch.
There's always a catch to everything.
What's the catch, guys?
The catch is that in this deal, which is valued at what is it valued at?
$13.6 billion.
No, that's
what he's
his
worth.
net worth value. So
this is
$2.6
billion, which is overpaying. Cohen's friends have said that he's willing to overpay because he's such a big fan.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank fucking God.
And they're like, I mean, this is his friend, so anyone could be saying anything. Yeah. And that's why I'm kind of. The caveat is that Fred stays CEO for
5 years.
5 years, and Jeff stays COO for 5 years. Which I feel like, okay, so while I have my little prayer in the beginning, I'm very cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
For the fact that this may not happen. It may not be approved by MLB. He got outbid for the Dodgers in 2012, 2011. He wanted the Dodgers, and then Magic and his.
Well, maybe that's why he's overpaying because he knew from prior experience. He knew who's like. Yeah. I mean, I don't got the money to pay.
No, right?
For this Mets team,
and he already has $20 million in the team. I think he owns something like 4% now.
Yeah.
And some people are speculating it might just be that in 5 years he sells his shares back. That right now they need the money.
They really do.
Because you look at what's going on with the Islanders arena right now.
Yeah, where
at Belmont, they owe like $1.6 billion or something sterling equities, and they're not paying it yet, and they've already broke ground. I'm worried that this is helping each other out, but I'm gonna try to stay positive. But the caveat is they're still in charge 5 years, which I find a little odd because this guy's putting his money in, and he's not getting.
Well, I think he might. I think the ownership or his control over the team might increase as each season goes on.
I mean,
you think that would be something where
it's possible. It could turn out to be the case. I don't know.
I mean, if he's already putting or whenever this deal goes through, I don't think it's gonna have much of an impact this year.
No.
Maybe perhaps next off season or the one after that in 2022. But if you look at these 5 years, maybe it is that Cohen is able to take control gradually, rather than right away to be like, all right, I already own 80% of the team.
Yeah, I mean, someone was saying, one of the journalists was like, the person has the pocketbook is the person pulling the strings, no matter who's in charge.
Yeah,
Brody is in charge, but
he doesn't.
The Wilpons are pulling the strings.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see how it plays out. I mean, who knows? This guy's really, like we have right now up on the screen, the Post. Is that the Post or the News? The Post.
The Post.
They have the Make It Rain caricature with Steve Cohen coming out of a helicopter over Citi Field, just making it rain. I mean, it's just we're also hopeful for some kind of change.
Okay, so I'll toss this question out. Do you think that the Mets can win a World Series under Cohen?
I don't. It's too soon to tell.
Yeah, I think if he's willing to spend on the free agents, like he claims that he's willing to pay top dollar and kind of, I don't know, edge one over the Yankees, then you know what? We could win a World Series under Cohen, because that's, aside from the 2015 season, we've never been a team that went out and bought and not bought, what's the proper word? Where acquired the proper free agent, or acquired the top free agent.
In the 80s, it were with Doubleday forcing the Wilpons to do that, with getting Hernandez, getting
I'm saying
Carter.
that, I mean, as of now, like the 2000s Mets fan, I don't think we've seen a free agent.
Omar Minaya we did, with Pedro Martinez and Carlos Delgado, Carlos Beltran, a number of Sean Green. We went out there and we bought and we acquired Tom Glavine.
Well,
so
I remember his final game with the Mets.
But it's so do I. So we have been that team, but then again, that's 13 years ago, 14 years ago now.
Yeah, I just feel like aside from the Cespedes signing and then maybe extending DeGrom, we haven't really spent money.
Jason Bay.
Oh, that was such a... Don't even mention that.
How much did we lose?
Well, you know, and
everything.
Now, do you think maybe...
Like Thanos, what did it cost? Everything.
Well, with that Jason Bay signing, he was a Met when he was brought up in the system, and then we traded him away.
Yeah.
So kind of, you never know with these things.
Boomerang. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the hope is that he's the next, God help me, sacrilege, George Steinbrenner. But
I'm just hoping he's willing to spend the money.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, this will lead into our next topic with the Mets not willing to pay Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
They didn't really make him much of an offer aside from that qualifier.
But I don't think they were interested in him to start.
They weren't. But this is why.
Yeah. It's because their budget is $17 million.
Yeah. I mean, is Wheeler inconsistent? Yes.
Yeah.
But is he better than the next option that they're going to be able to bring in? Yes.
Unless you're going to tell me that, I mean, at this point, we'll go into the next topic.
Yeah. Oh, real quick on Cohen, though. Spending and getting the right general manager and front office to scout correctly, crunch numbers correctly, and have instinct correctly, and not be a clown show. That's the big thing, because he's not going to function as GM. You have to have the right GM and then give them the actual tools they need to do it.
Absolutely.
Time will tell.
Is he going to get rid of Brody?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Unless Brody pulls a rabbit out of his ass, but whatever. Anyway, so Wheeler.
Moving on to the next topic with Zach Wheeler going to Phillies for 5 years. How do you guys feel about that?
It stings a little bit. Because Wheeler, we acquired him from San Francisco in that Carlos Beltran trade. What year was it? 2011. And pretty much he faced a couple injuries. This was arguably his best season as a Met.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah, and to see him go not to another team but to the Phillies, our National League rival right now, especially with what's going on.
Well, they got Girardi.
With Girardi, they got our manager that the fans wanted, per se. Yeah. So this one stings a little bit.
They have Harper, your hair kindred spirits.
Harper.
I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I think I said it best in the tweet I put up. Our collective Mets asses are going to have a bite in it for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Do I think he'll be there 5 years? I don't think he'll be dominant, but I think he's going to show up for the Mets.
Yeah.
And as you should. Mm-hmm. As you should. When a team says they don't want you, they're not going to give you something. Of course, I mean, you want to show up against a team that doesn't want you. I don't think he's going to be dominant. I think he's going to have some really good seasons. Okay. I don't think he'll be there the full 5 years. I think the Phillies will eventually crash and burn as they always do, and he'll be gone.
You think they'll trade him?
By the fourth year, probably. Yeah. But I think it's going to sting. I think it's going to sting us.
Yeah.
I think and. Because that's just how it always goes.
I think there's also a bit of irony because the Mets actually traded Carlos Beltran for Zach Wheeler in 2011. And now
they're never together.
8 years later,
that's a good point.
Swapping out.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but
well,
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, why don't we see what
it's
Thor
also
thinks?
You got to think of it. What was that?
Why don't we see what Thor thinks?
Oh yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, before we put the Noah Syndergaard tweet up. What's the best way to put this? Is that Zach Wheeler? He wasn't like a fan favorite to say like, if DeGrom or Noah Syndergaard went away. However, when I look at Zach Wheeler, I do remember the inconsistencies that he had, everything that happened with, him just not showing up in the big moments that we needed him. However, when it came towards the later half of this season, was pretty much he pitched in a way so he could get this contract money.
But also coming off of all the years of injuries. And
where he did.
Yeah. And with the way Callaway's managing and before that, it's just...
It stings, but I feel like I could get over it in a day.
Do you feel like they overpaid for him?
The Phillies, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
By how much?
I thought he was worth $20 million a year. Now this kind of gets into like 22.
It was 118. 118, and so it's $18 million more than you would be willing to pay. I think the Phillies are following the Nationals model of the late 2000s, where they overpay for Jason Worth and they overpaid for this one and that one, and they're trying to have good draft picks, but they don't have a Strasburg or a Harper kind of draft pick, but they overpay for Harper, and they're overpaying now for Zach Wheeler. I think they're trying to
compensate.
I think they're trying to build something. I think they're willing to overspend, and they looked at their time. The Nationals are decimated right now. If they lose both Rendon and Strasburg, those two people, amongst other people, are going to come in and go in. That hurts them.
Did Kendrick resign with the Nationals?
I'm not sure. I don't know. And plus, he had a great year, but who knows that's going to continue. And then the
Braves. The Braves are also up and coming.
They're up and coming, but I still don't feel like they're quite there. Marlins are never going to do anything, so it's like, and then there's the Mets. It's like, oh, so this is our chance. Shit. So, I get why they're doing it, but they're overcompensating. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, what did Noah Syndergaard say?
I'll take it.
All right.
Noah Syndergaard tweets, "Quick tale. You have this friend which you want the best for. He leaves and gets his money. You should want to be happy for him, but he is now an enemy because he went to the land of enemies. I finally understand the emotion of this meme." And it's, of course, the housewife screaming at the cat at the dinner table meme. And it's fucking hilarious. I love Thor.
It's good. I think he has a great sense of humor with this. He did go to the land of the enemies. I'm not going to...
Speaking of cats.
We got Hannah coming in.
The mascot's here. This is great, though.
Yeah. I feel like Noah Syndergaard, especially with what he went through last season, I think this could be a good year for him. And Mets fans could forget about losing out on Zach Wheeler, but now the question up in the air is to see who the fifth starter will be.
Exactly, because now it's...
Because now what we would have is
DeGrom, Thor, Stroman,
Lugo.
And
Matz, Lugo maybe.
Probably.
Lugo will probably be in there, but then we get a reliever, so maybe...
We'll see. Yeah. There's a lot of moves that still need to happen.
Absolutely. One move that just happened today.
Yeah, today. Yeah. Which is... The
Mets trade for Jake Marisnick.
Yeah, he's an outfielder from...
He's good. I think he'll be an upgrade from what's his name?
Lagares,
absolutely.
I think just about anybody is when it comes to at least hitting at least.
But
so
the Mets
have some inconsistencies at the plate, and that's why the Astros didn't end up playing him all the time.
Well, I'm just thinking maybe he's...
Well, the Astros were stacked.
They were
to begin with. And you know what? We did get J.D. Davis from the Astros, and maybe this is just the Mets picking up little pieces from the Astros that can help this team in the long run.
Well, let's see if he's actually going to be able to play or on suspension when the season starts. Because I was thinking maybe Beltran, he's an outfielder. He can rig the camera in outfield when nobody's looking and get the signs from other people. Maybe that's why he's there. Beltran clearly knows him.
Suspensions. Do we really want to run into another situation where he collides in the outfield with another player and gets suspended?
What are we talking about?
Hold on. Okay, so he collided with the Los Angeles catcher Jonathan Lucroy, who suffered a concussion and broken
at the plate.
Nose. Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's right.
So, hopefully he doesn't get suspended again twice.
That's part of the game.
That's part. Yeah, but now with the catching rules, the Buster Posey rules, it's like... I like hard contact at the plate, but I don't know. I think I'd be fine if he got suspended for that. But he may be a player that's coming into the season without being able to play because this whole Astros fucking mess.
Brody Van Fuckface does say that he's an elite defender who is an incredibly smart base runner. So, do we trust Brody?
I would like to know which analytic 22-year-old told him that in the front office, and he was like, "Okay, that's what I'm gonna say." He's got to say that. He's got to defend every fucking choice he makes. I will believe it. Once you see it.
But to break down,
28. He 233, 289, 411 with 10 home runs, 34 RBI, 16 doubles, 10 stolen bases, which is it would lend credence to that statement in 120 games. So, I mean, he's arbitration eligible. They're looking to spend $3 million. They only have $17 million to spend, and he's only here for a year. I don't.
Do you think he will help the Mets defensively?
I think it gives depth to the team. It gives depth to the bench.
It does.
If like you have a Conforto that's injured or Brandon Nimmo, if those two guys are out, which I mean is inevitable.
Defensive replacement at the end of the game for JD.
Absolutely, I think it is. It's a decent move. I mean, we only gave up 2 minor league prospects, which
Blake Taylor and Kennedy Corona.
But aside from that, maybe this could be Marisnik's year, and he'll have an improvement from last year.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. It's not a terrible move.
Yeah, I think it's a small move, and hopefully we'll see what comes in these next following months.
We shall.
Yeah.
Okay, so switching gears, let's start talking about the coaching staff. First off, we got returning hitting coach Chili Davis.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hannah.
I know, she's excited.
She is excited. He's returning to the Mets after signing a 2-year deal this offseason. Brody Van Fuckface is happy.
I'm happy. I mean, he was.
Well, the Phillies were willing to overpay for him.
Yeah, they were. He used it as a bargaining chip, which I loved. I mean, he played that very properly to get the money he's owed. So I'm all down with that. I like what Chili did. I think we had some good. We made some improvements in offense last year, so I'm happy with that.
An improvement now from our pitching coach Yoda. We were right about it the last episode that Jeremy Hefner would have been our pitching coach.
Oh God, here she goes.
Oh, there she is. What's up, Hannah? Oh,
push her down. You can push her down. Yeah,
that's okay.
Hannah, it's okay.
Oh, sorry, bud.
But yeah, Jeremy Hefner. We called it. I mean,
former Met. He was in the system.
Former Met. He's in the system. He has some kind of like advanced scout experience with the Twins in 2018.
He's also
but I feel like
young.
The Twins are a good organization that probably could get some it's a good organization where you can learn about pitchers.
Agreed. But I thought the same thing about Callaway coming from the Indians with their coaching staff, thinking, he learned under Terry Francona and whatnot.
But he learned under Terry Francona, but then he was a manager. This time, he's going to be, Callaway's going to be a pitching coach where he was with the Indians under Joe Madden, which is amazing great for him. But then I think for Jeremy Hefner, what we have is we have Hefner as a pitching coach versus him obviously being
taking over the whole range. Yeah, I mean, and he's a very analytical guy. He's spent a lot of his time trying to learn the finer aspects of baseball analytics, and that's how to implement them.
So that's what Carlos Beltran was actually talking about when he was hired. He wanted to do more analytics, make it more user-friendly, kind of adding that human element to it, and they think that Hefner is going to be able to do that just because of his age and being that he's also played within this decade.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, it only... I mean, if he's able to manage this pitching rotation, the starting pitching rotation, and then put in the right relievers at the times that we need them, you know what?
What I worry about, and what I've been worrying about, is, what I always say, the inmates running the fucking asylum. It's like, you got Beltran, who they're like, Brody's like, he's a player's manager. Enough with players' managers. Players are children. Players are children. You need to treat them as such. And so, you got a guy who's basically their age. I mean, he's what, 30 what?
33.
33. Jake is 30? I mean, Jake, he's his own pitching coach, but Thor's had some issues with authority. Thor's had some issues with trying to do everything his way and not the way manager wants, and the manager's like, it's okay. Well, he respects somebody who's practically his own age. I don't know. I like to think so, but I'm a little weary of the young aspect.
Well, so then wouldn't bringing in bench coach Hensley Mullins...
This move I love.
Yeah.
To actually offset that?
I hope so. I love this move. I love this move. Victor, what do you think about this move?
I think it's going to help Beltran, first of all, very, 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 very much. With going into this postseason, I mean, not supposed into the regular season.
Let's hope.
Yeah, let's see if we go into
your lips to God's ears when I was out there.
Going into the signing with Beltran and Hefner, we do have a young managerial staff. And then when you do offset it with pitchers, with coaches, with Mullins, and then who we had from
Chile.
His name from Chile Davis. There you go.
Yeah.
I think
it does seem like a good mix. Yeah, I mean, Beltran's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And that it could work.
I mean, he's a versatile guy too. He could speak
so many languages. He's a manager for the
That breaks so many barriers, just being able to communicate in general. Because as a bench coach, you're playing psychologists, which are also trying to manage these people, and being able to communicate in your own language, that goes a long way.
Yeah, I think I'm in love with this move, and I feel like for the first time we have a manager a bench coach, if the manager doesn't work out, I wouldn't mind the interim manager being moved up, because in the past with Jerry Manuel or
Jerry Manuel was an interim manager that stayed for 2 years.
Yeah, it's just so I love this move, and you guys make so many good points that okay, you got the elders, statesmen with the younger guys, and Beltran in the middle, and it sounds good on paper.
It
sounds so good.
I want this to be an improvement from last year. That's the whole point. So we have.
Yeah. It sounds so good, and yet.
Are you thinking
being
it's
the
too
grumpy
good to
old?
be true?
Absolutely, yeah. Being the grumpy old fuck I am, who lived long enough with this team, just letting me down every time I thought they made I thought Cali would be a great move.
Hopefully this reinvigorates you in some fashion.
God, I hope so. God.
Gotta put the fire back in the old man.
Oh man. I actually feel hope, and I didn't think I was gonna feel hope on this show. Anyway, go on.
All right, so moving on, we are going to talk about Cespedes, who was actually caught in Florida, doing some batting. That ankle's looking
nice.
pretty
good. I love how you put up a screenshot of his ankles.
Well, zoomed in there.
Okay,
I mean, they look a little swollen there.
It actually does. It looks like it's cutting off his circulation.
He's in motion, though.
I don't know if those socks are a little bit tight.
It's a screen grab from a video.
Wait.
Yeah.
So one sock is down and the other one's up. And then the one that's up looks like it's cutting off his circulation.
Yeah. But I think it's also the poor quality of the video.
Yeah, because it's a cell phone video. Andy Chavez, love Andy. He's a coach down there. They're in Port St. Lucie. They took video of him throwing BP. He was hitting it nice. He was walking just fine. No limp, no nothing. They put it up. 45 minutes later,
Brody
takes it down.
Brody Van Fuckface. Well, unconfirmed. Brody has him taking it down.
Yeah.
Because a week earlier, less than a week, he's like, well, I don't know if Cespedes is going to be healthy enough to play at all.
Hold on, but we all know that Cespedes has been really effective even when playing at less than 100%.
Agreed. And I think he gets a bum rap. He was limping around that field in 2016. He was limping around the field in 2015. When they're in it, he plays, but he's had some bad luck. I mean, maybe Brody dug that fucking hole in his ranch. I don't know. I think they want the insurance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
They want to know for sure before throwing it out there, getting everyone's hopes up.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it's that they want to know for sure. I think he would be. I think based on this and what they're saying, that he's taking fielding practice, he's taking BP, and he looks good, that through spring training, he'd be okay. I don't think they want him to get spring training. I think they want him out. I think they want the insurance money.
I think they don't want him. Well, for me, I could see Cespedes coming into the later half of the season, where he comes in after the All-Star break.
Maybe, but I think if that happens, they don't get the insurance money. I think with the Wilpons, it's always money. And I think they have Marisnik, they have JD, they have a young core of guys that no one's missing Cespedes immediately. Cano's there to kind of offset that bat, supposedly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just want us. They know that he doesn't have goodwill with most of the fans. Most of the fans are really down on him, and they feel like it's just another Jason Bay, which it's not.
It's not.
It's not. He carried this team. He had that when he showed up in 2015. That 6-week tear he went on was unprecedented. That alone. Anyway, I digress. I think they just want the insurance.
All right, so moving on, we are going to talk about Darnaud and Cole Hamels going to the Braves. The Braves replaced Brian McCann by signing 30-year-old Travis Darnaud to a 2-year deal worth.
I love how you say that.
Darnaud.
Darn.
It's all right. I had a hard time when he first came up with the Mets pronouncing his name.
Darnaud.
How would you pronounce it?
Darnaud.
Darnaud.
Yeah.
I have a French.
I have a T-shirt. I have a Darnaud T-shirt with number 7 from when the Mets went on that 2015.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
There's the door.
I use it as a rag now.
Yeah, I would use it as toilet paper. But that's just okay. So I mean, they got Travis.
Which he played well. He played okay with Tampa Bay.
He did very well.
Yeah.
And he sucked with the Dodgers for like the 2 seconds he was there. This deal though was weird because it's $16 million. It's eight. Wait, no, I think it's $16 million a year. I don't know. Anyway, no, it's whatever it is. Anyway, it's a 2-year deal.
$16 million
$8 million
per year.
No, yeah, no, it's not. I think it might be.
Get out of here.
Check that.
No, I'm fact checking that. There's no way.
I know. I had it written and then I wrote it down.
But anyways,
my bad. But he has to agree to donate $80,000 annually to charity. I've never heard of that before. What is that?
I mean,
does he get to pick the charity?
Who knows what that deal is?
Is it a donation?
Is it like a tax thing?
To kids with names you can't pronounce? Like, is it like? I mean, I remember when he came up. They didn't have a lowercase d for the jersey, so they had to use an upside down p.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they
did. I didn't know about that.
So maybe it's like for like the namely challenge, which would be great because the way you spell my name, I could use some donations.
It's $8 million. $8 million.
It is $8 million a year, so $16 million for 2 years. I mean, whatever. I think Brian McCann's a better catcher and a better hitter.
Yeah.
But they want to go younger, so whatever. The fact that Cole Hamels is going there, though. So glad he's not coming here.
Oh, me too.
After the
that would be a Mets move that would be a Brody move. I should correct myself. That would be a very Brody move.
No, that would be a Mets move. I mean, our history is littered with stupid ass moves like that. And he's such a bitch, Cole Hamels. I mean, he's the epitome of the word bitch. Like, just.
Do you remember back in 2008, he actually called the Mets the choke artists?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember that shit. That was when him and Jimmy fucking Rollins, like Jimmy Rollins, who was the fun police for the Philadelphia Phillies. So, like, he would post up a picture of Jose Reyes on people's lockers if he felt that they didn't act with dignity during the game. If they, like, pumped their fists too hard, he put a picture of Jose up to remind them that they were being out of line. And so he did it once to Cole Hamels. Cole Hamels used to throw temper tantrum after temper tantrum on that field, and that was okay. You suck with the Cubs. You're a has-been. You're done. And Atlanta is going to release you way before the All-Star break. My prediction. What do you think?
Yeah, he stays with them for 1 year, and that's about it.
I don't think so. I hope I'm right, just because I want to see him suffer.
Well, absolutely. But I think he'll just stay with them. He'll be like their number 4, number 5 guy.
Yeah, that's true. You're probably right. I hope you're not.
I mean, if Atlanta makes a playoff run, he'll probably just be coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, very possible.
All right, so moving on to our new segment,
we have a new segment.
Lightning Round.
Oh shit!
I'm not even prepared for this.
All right, you don't need to be prepared. All right, so
What's
I'm going to be
on?
asking,
are images going to come up on the screen?
No images.
Okay, so I have to look at Sheyne?
Yes. Stare deep and peer deep into his soul. I'm going to be providing.
Ooh, soft hands.
Oh my god. Soft hands, soft hair. What are you going to do?
Oh, geez.
Okay.
He's 24. Right. Trust me, it's all going to go away. The hair will grow out. The belly will get bigger. You'll look like me in 4. Yeah.
All right, you bitter Mets fan.
Old.
All right.
Old.
Focus.
What's going on?
Fuck us.
I will be providing a series of descriptions of.
Don't look at the. He's a cheater.
All right, series of descriptions.
It's not my fault. She put it out there.
That's true. She did. Yeah.
Well, you're not gonna be able to see it anyways.
You gotta put a coin in the jar, bud.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow, that goes in hard. That's what she said.
Oh! Here's your own quarter. Here's your penny.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Don't slam me in there because my ears are pinging after that.
Okay.
All right. So what's this lightning round game?
All right. So speaking of catchers, I'm going to be reading a series of descriptions to see if these guys know their Mets. So starting it off, I am the most beloved Met of all time and one of the greatest. No. One of the greatest hitting catchers in all of the major leagues with a...
Mike Piazza.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have a buzzer.
Gosh. Okay.
All right, well, you got 1 point, Sheyne. I jumped the gun.
Oh, hang on. Let me...
All right, take notes.
S&V. Okay. 1.
Oh, no.
Shut it down.
Yeah, I did that.
Wow.
My bad. This was my laptop.
All right, so my love for the game resulted in the nickname Kid.
Gary Carter.
Fuck you.
All right. Point. Okay, even though I was a backup catcher to Gary Carter, I spent most of my time playing. I was known for committing the most errors as a catcher in a season, 14 of them. Also allowing 91 stolen bases, the fifth most in the league. And before every toss back to the pitcher, I hesitated, pumped the ball 3 times before throwing it back. Who am I?
I have no idea. This is all you.
I know this, and I can't remember it. Who was it?
Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Oh, yeah, give me a hint.
After colliding with Atlanta Braves player Jim Presley at the home plate.
I know who it is. I just don't know the name. It's, who is it?
Mackie Sasser.
That isn't who I thought it was. Okay, never mind then.
All right, well, no points on that.
Yeah, no points.
Got you. All right. I made...
point for Ashley.
Point Ashley. I made the opening...
She's the one who wrote these questions.
She's trying to stump us.
I am. I'm trying to really, get you guys. Okay. All right. Okay. So I made the opening day roster in 2013, backing up veteran catcher John Buck.
Oh, backing up. Oh,
Anthony Riker.
Okay. All right. So fun fact about Anthony Riker.
He's got a big ass.
He does, but if you go on Urban Dictionary and look up the definition for Riker, it literally says Riker. A Major League Baseball catcher who has the largest ass in all of baseball. His ass is so big, it tells him what to do. His ass cheeks are so big, it's been commonly reported that he has trouble reaching between them to wipe and needs the help of his teammates.
Well, I've never heard that in my life, but it is.
I think it's urban legends,
yeah.
But
who got that point?
Actually went to both of you. You got it right at the same time. So.
Okay, fine.
Will you go to point 5?
Is there one left?
It's a
yes,
tie.
there's one more. All right, so tiebreaker. I spent 2 seasons.
John Buck.
With the Mets as a great offensive catcher, though I had a miserable time with the New York media.
Paulo Duca.
Yes.
Yes!
He was publicly humiliated when the media publicized an affair and gambling scandal. Yeah. He was also later outed as a steroid user. So, the winner of this lightning round...
No love for John Buck, though? That was good.
Good quiz. All right.
I was waiting for a John Buck question.
Well,
all right.
Keep waiting. All right, what's next up? Ooh, the front office report. Front office. Mets reports are that the Mets are unwilling to go above the luxury tax. As a result, they only have $17 million to work with when signing a starting pitcher, getting an outfielder, and improving the pen. According to Andy Martino, the Mets have no interest in signing Wheeler. No shit, I wrote that before this happened. I did not look back. MLB Trade Rumors reports that the Mets are looking to move bad contracts. Familia at $22 million through 2021. Jed Lowry at $13 million through 2020. Attaching young, controllable talent like Smith and JD with those contracts are possibilities.
All right, so Familia actually carries a heavier financial burden than Lowry does.
Yeah.
So that's one to start.
I mean, if we can offload Familia, I'm all about that. I don't see him.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give Edwin Diaz a chance, but Familia, I'm done.
Lowry actually has a depressed value because of all the injury troubles that he's had too. So.
I mean, yeah, you do have to offset these contracts. We talked about it last episode with you wanting to trade Dom Smith. One, from a baseball perspective, Dominic Smith, I feel bad that he's rotting on the bench because he does have talent.
He's a good first baseman, but that's Alonso's.
Yeah.
No, it's Alonso's, but what I'm saying is Dom Smith, he's not going to be playing the outfield consistently. Mm-hmm. We have no DH to put his bat in the lineup. So, with the smart move, you do have this talent where, you'll attach him to a Familia or a Lowry, but we got to get something back. Whether or not it's, a free agency rumor now that we're going to get Josh Hader or...
You know what it's going to be. It's going to be cash considerations.
You think so?
Isn't it always with them?
You think you're going to get cash consideration for at least Dom Smith?
I think we'll get... I mean, now we have Marisnik. I don't know. I mean...
Like,
so offload Familia. The thing is, you're offloading an inconsistent closer or setup man.
Oh, so what you're saying is that there's no point in trading a reliever for a reliever and then getting a first baseman like Dom Smith.
I mean, I just have a hunch that it's going to end up being for cash. I really do. Mm-hmm. I really, really do. But I mean, going back to your point of Dom Smith, yeah,
Well, Dom Smith, he's the... I think you could get better value for him versus J.D. Davis.
Agreed. I mean, I think it comes down to, like, we'll get into the possibilities for the trade for Josh Hader in a little bit, and I think that's where that value comes in. I think with Familia, I mean, you're trading. You'll be trading for Smith with Familia on the side, even though he's the financial burden though. That complicates everything. So it's really Familia with tagging on Smith because he's making minimum wage, or maybe a little bit above. Which I wish I made that minimum wage, but that's why I think it's. I don't know.
Well,
that's why I think we'll be stuck with him.
Well, you do. You think you will be stuck with him for next season?
I think so.
Could he have a bounce back season?
Anything's possible in this world, but look at like you were just saying, Kendrick having a bounce back season. Granted, he's not a pitcher, but just the inconsistency since he gave up that home run in the wild card game in 2016. Mm-hmm. It's just been, and he wasn't good when they traded him. I just think he was a flash in the pan. He was the relieving Harvey, flash in the pan, and you're done. Yeah, I really do. Diaz, I can see having a bounce back. What do you think? Yeah.
How about Lowry? Do you think he would make an appearance this season? Or is
if he's here, yeah,
well,
sure.
If he's going to be traded. Do you think he's going to be traded or he's going to be on the opening day roster?
I think he'll be traded.
Okay.
I think they'll try to get rid of him. Because they don't need him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But let's move on to these trade free rumors, free agent rumors.
All right, we're going to start off with Starling Marte. He's also an All-Star, two-time Golden Glover.
Mm-hmm. So John Heyman says that looks like they might be trying to get him, and I can't read what that says because
actually help us out.
Yeah,
actually, it's really tiny.
Because I was trying to read that, I was just like, no.
All right, the Mets have interest in Starling Marte.
Strong.
He's.
Yeah, dude.
He's what they say is a strong defender in center field.
Okay.
Right-handed hitter. Still working on something.
Well, what they're saying.
So the point is, Starling Marte, he is a strong defensive center fielder. Now that we got Marisnik, do you think we're gonna even attempt to try to get him?
I mean, he's $11.5 million. So with the $3 million they spent for Marisnik now, he
fits in the budget.
He does, but then you're almost at cap because you have if it's true they only have $17 million, that's 14.5 you spent, two and a half left. But you have to then offload people like Familia, and it's tricky. It's the puzzle that they have to put together. I mean, I don't think they'll go for him now because of that. Because what they're saying that the price is going to be, he has 11.5 for 2020, a club option for 12.5 in 2021. But they speculate that you have to get rid of Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, or Andreas Jimenez, which are all our top prospects.
Top prospects in the MLB or in our
there are top prospects, and they're the only three that are ranked in the top MLB 100. We're at number 80, 81, and 92, respectively.
So you'd have to give up would have to trade one of their three.
I don't think it's going to happen now that we got Marisnik. I think Marisnik was that safer bet for cheap, I think.
I absolutely agree.
Even though Marte is actually interested in the Mets?
I mean, he's only talking to the Mets and the Cubs, I believe, right? So it's like...
So here's the thing. He said, and I quote, "The Pirates have the power to decide my future. If it was up to me, I would leave for a team that is ready to compete right now on a World Series, and that's not our case," in reference to the Pirates. Yeah. He said, "The Mets are in a position to compete for a World Series, and it would be an honor to play for them. If it doesn't happen, I will keep working hard and giving my team my all."
I think he goes to Philadelphia.
He
stays in Pennsylvania.
Maybe the Phillies at this point.
He gets on Route 70 and he just goes to Philadelphia. I don't know. What would you do
with acquiring Starling Marte? I wouldn't.
Now that you have Marisnik.
No, you don't go for him.
What about you?
I say no.
Agreed.
You don't go because now you'll be cluttering the outfield. And like you said, but if they do get him, then that introduces, them probably absolutely getting rid of J.D. Davis for them offloading those bigger contracts that we mentioned before with the Familia and Lowry. So with that being said, if they do get him, then they kind of try to get some money back, and then they get, whether it's a reliever or a starting pitcher, then you know what, I'm okay with that move. But as of now, if you just trade Marte for a prospect, or two of our prospects, I think it just.
But 11.5, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It depends how the Mets are able to budget this.
Yeah, very true. Which I don't think they'll be able to offload before he's off the market.
That's true.
I don't think he's gonna come to the Mets. I would like him to, just so we can have a strong. I mean, we do have Conforto who had a spectacular season, but to have another strong bat in the outfield that's obviously not Cespedes at this point, it would be great for the Mets.
It would. But the more appealing / controversial free agent possibility or trade possibility is Josh Hader. So the idea is that we would get Josh Hader and possibly either Ryan Braun or Lorenzo Cain.
I would take Cain.
I would take Cain as well. He's a center fielder. And Braun, I hate him, especially for the bullshit he went to. Do you know about his bullshit in the past?
I don't. Please educate
Well, he did.
me.
He had like a PED steroid thing.
He was tested,
Okay.
and he came back positive for PEDs. So rather than just accept the punishment, do his time, so to speak, he created an elaborate conspiracy, and he shamed publicly the person who tested him. You know, the guys show up in the clubhouse, they don't warn you, or maybe you get like an hour warning, and they take your pee. He was like, well, the guy, he stored the pee in his refrigerator before he brought it into the MLB the next day because they're taking it at 11, 12 o'clock at night, which actually ends up being standard procedure. He shames the guy. The guy gets fired. He goes to sue the guy. He lost everything that he worked his life for. A year or so later, it comes out that Ryan was doing it, and he framed this guy to make it look like he was unprofessional, and he was trying to frame him. And so what do, the Brewers? They have Ryan Braun do a public apology. He gets on the phone with season ticket holders saying, I'm sorry, and he's still fucking playing. And I'm just like...
And what happens to this guy, though?
They have an unspecified settlement. The guy got money, but like after two and a half years...
Life.
Yeah. So I just for that, I mean, and is he a good player? Yes. Is he aging and getting worse? I don't know. I don't want him though.
I would take Lorenzo Cain in this case.
Absolutely. So the idea is that, Hader's 25. He is the most elite closer in the game in the last year. He's entering the first of 4 arbitration years with a salary expected to increase each year from 2020 to 2023. So the possibilities are Hader and possibly Braun/Cain for JD, or Hader and Braun/Cain for McNeil, or Hader and possibly Braun and Cain for Dom Smith and or McNeil with Edwin Diaz and Mark Vientos, who is a minor leaguer who we have his stats if you want to check them out. Braun's 36. He's in the final year of his contract. He's 21. That's like everything right there. And the Mets have to take on a huge chunk of that. Our prospect Vientos is almost 20. He's a third baseman and shortstop. I mean, hit or miss. Which one of I2 and I3, which one would you do if we were to get Hader? First of all, do you think we need Hader?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think we do. I would go with number 1, actually.
You would trade JD Davis?
Yeah. Tell me why you don't agree.
I would go with 3. I would go with 3 to
I think 3 is very heavy. I feel like you have to anticipate for.
I mean, they're giving up the best closer in the game, and they need a closer back. I feel like Edwin Diaz might soar there in a smaller market where he can actually spend time to work on his craft. Granted, they're in a better position to compete than we are technically, but it's a small market. You have time to wrap your head around things.
That's true.
And again, the Dom Smith thing. Dom would do very well in that ballpark. They need a first baseman. He gets a chance to be an everyday player.
I do agree with Dom.
Not McNeil.
Probably not the rest of it.
What if you do a combination where you trade JD Davis and Dom Smith, and then you offload one of the bad contracts?
But then we got to bring on Lorenzo, Hader. I mean, I still have Diaz's contract.
If we give the Familia, Diaz a chance.
Yeah, but
that's the thing. I would give.
He's a setup man. I don't know if he's gonna. He's a year removed from being one of the best closers in the game. Is he really going to take a backseat?
Oh, you would think that
an Eagle thing might get involved.
Okay.
I would say. I don't know. Let's write down what Hader and Cain for Smith, Vientos, Familia, either Smith or JD.
Trade
and those
Smith.
two. So, yeah, I would trade Smith first, and then Vientos and Familia if we could. Or Lowry.
Yeah, but, I mean, it depends what the Brewers are now looking back for giving up Hader. They probably want a pitcher.
If we agree to pay half of Familia's salary, just to get rid of him.
That would be something.
Do we have the money for it, though?
I think so.
No, I mean it still falls into the budget, and then with whatever you're getting back, I mean with Dom Smith, you're not paying him much, but then you take on Hader's contract, but then that would be the last. I mean, this would be the blockbuster trade for the Mets, and that would be nothing else.
And then Lugo comes out as his fifth starter, and if we get Kane, then you have Kane as an everyday
as center
fielder, and then
Nimmo and Conforto in the corners, and then you have Marisnik coming off the bench.
But then what do we do with JD?
Did we involve him in this trade?
Yeah.
We did, but if we keep him and get rid of Smith,
okay.
Well, then he can move around from third base to left field.
Yeah, but then
when McNeil's
what
playing,
about McNeil?
He does like third.
I mean, we still don't think Cano's going to play full season. I think half at best. So I think there'll be room, and it adds depth to the bench.
Yeah. I mean, and JD Davis, he kind of was a bench player, and he had a good season.
Yeah, true. And we're all in agreement. No Braun, take Kane instead. Now, would you do it with no Braun, no Kane before those costs? Just Hader, the best closer in the game.
I would take Hader, but then you're not giving up both Dom Smith and JD Davis.
No, you have to
whatever it is.
I say give up Smith.
Give up Smith, and then you offload one of the contracts or something.
Yeah.
And then you give him a prospect.
Yeah, Vientos. Seems what they want. All right, moving on. Rick Porcello?
Possible fifth starter?
How do you feel about this, man?
I take it. This is...
Why?
I mean, Porcello, he was on a down year where he did have a high ERA of a 5.5, but he did go 14-12. He had 143 strikeouts, pitched 174 innings. You need some guy to do mop-up, and you need him to be there. I'm tired of seeing these guys where, with last season, our fifth starter were people coming out of the minors. At that point, you had Gagnon, Chris Flexen, all these random no names who pretty much would come in. They'd do 1 to 2 starts, and then the Mets would either send them back or they'd DFA them. So you know what? If Porcello is able to stay healthy, well, he did pitch 32, had 32 starts.
I think it's 14-12.
Yeah. I mean, the Mets, who knows? I don't know the numbers that they're going to be able to put offensively when he pitches. But I would take this as a compensation for losing out on Wheeler.
Yeah, I would
too. And then
you
keep, what the case is that that ends up keeping Lugo in the bullpen. With whatever trade happens, if it does, you're solidifying the bullpen, and then that's it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would take Rick Porcello. I would be happy with this. As a fifth starter, fine. You give him a multi-year deal if that's what he wants. But he's going to be a huge improvement from the fifth starter that we had last year, which was Jason Vargas. Right?
Jason!
And going in that, even so, with losing Wheeler, and you have a possibility of getting Rick Porcello, what you have is, as we mentioned before, our starting rotation is still going to be DeGrom, Thor, Stroman, which is a solid 3. Then Steven Matz, who knows? Maybe, he is going to be inconsistent, but he is, when he's good, he's good. And then you have Porcello coming in on that back end. I would take that rotation over the rotation that they had last year.
I agree. I'm with you 100% on that. I like that.
And if this falls into the imaginary or the $17 million budget that the Mets have, I take it.
Yeah, and like you said, you'll have Lugo, you'll have Gesellman, you'll have Wilson, Familia, Diaz in the pen. I mean, I still think Lugo should be the closer to start.
And this is a Mets team that isn't going after the big free agents that are out there, like the Strasburg, Garrett Cole, Madison Bumgarner, whatever the case, and Rendon. You got to be a little scrappy here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it would be good. I think this will actually happen. I have a feeling this is going to happen.
I have a feeling this will too, especially even though he's coming off this miserable year, he's 30 years old. He has plenty of time to bounce back.
And I wouldn't say that it was necessarily a miserable year.
14-12 is not anything to shake.
I mean,
that's true.
You can't look at wins and losses anymore.
Because he was on the Sox.
Yeah, and that's what you learned. I mean, that's what you learned from watching Jacob deGrom play and his stats. It's just he was a Cy Young Award winner that won back-to-back with 10 and 11 wins. Yeah. So if you're going to be like, he had a bad record because he only went 14-12 with a high ERA, like you mentioned, you got to look at where he was playing with the Red Sox.
Struggled last year.
Played miserable. Yeah. And you know what? I'll take this.
I'll take it. So what else has happened? That's all the free agency news. We have what's next?
What's going on with the 2019 All-MLB team?
Was that voted already?
Yeah, voting closed 2 days ago.
Yep.
So
we had our candidates. We have DeGrom, Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and Seth
McNeil?
Lugo. My name is Jeff.
Of the four, which one do you think are going to go through?
Oh, DeGrom. DeGrom and Alonso.
I think so, too.
I think DeGrom, Alonso, and McNeil.
Really?
Why McNeil?
I mean,
he's McNeil is overlooked.
He is overlooked. That's true. I mean, I don't think... What actually I'm unsure of is whether or not it's a 25-man roster or just 9 starters. I think it's a 25-man roster, and he might be on the bench.
As a utility guy.
As a utility guy, I think. If it's 25, I think he'll be in it. Mm-hmm. If not, definitely Alonso, and I mean, it has to be DeGrom. I mean, shit.
He won the Cy Young Award.
And who knows, Lugo might... All 4 might get on there. I mean, because, relief pitchers, people are going to mostly look at the stats for that. Because you can't just jump to a name like... I mean, Josh Hader will be on it, but you can't just jump to, what's his face in the closer for the Dodgers? You know who I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
It's on the tip of my tongue, but
Yeah, but he had a down year, so it's not like you can just go to the usual fallback. So, you never know. People might look at the stats and be like, okay, he deserves it.
There you go.
Who is it?
Jensen.
Yeah. So, Hanley Jensen.
Kenley
Jensen, that's it. Yeah. So, we'll see. They're going to be announced at the winter meeting, so let's see. It's like the mid-season.
Yeah. Best of
luck,
the mid-season
gentlemen. All-Star game. Wow.
All right, so speaking of December 3rd, tickets went on sale for Citi Field's Fan Fest.
Which we tried to purchase.
We tried to purchase it on day one, and they are already sold out. You guys are insanely dedicated fans who jumped on this quickly.
They don't deserve you. The fucking Wilpons. Hopefully Cohen will deserve us. I mean, the fact they went on pre-sale for the season ticket holders. And then the next day they were all sold out. Yes, they were only $20, which like I said, I was shocked it wasn't $120.
I'm in agreement.
Mets fans are so incredibly loyal. And they show up and they just want to be a part of it. And just with how little they put into the fucking team. And you don't deserve us. And it's we should all stop spending our fucking money and all our energy and effort on this team. But we can't stop because we're fucking addicts. We're all cracked up. And it's they don't deserve us. And I'm pissed because I wanted to go. I was looking forward to it.
Well,
we could probably buy tickets secondhand.
Well, so I did check that as I was on my way here, and it looks like people are trying to off them for $115, $120. So I wouldn't be surprised if third-party vendors just went and was like, okay, I'm going to go and buy 100 tickets for $20 and then, sell them for double, triple the price.
Yeah, but I think they're selling high now because they just sold out. So people are like, oh, I missed out. Let me try to buy it. I think as it gets closer to the date, it might be cheaper than that.
I could definitely see on the 23rd, 24th of January it being on StubHub because they're like, ooh, it's cold this week.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see them.
And of course you have all the babies out and all the kids wanting to come, do the batting cages and interact with the players and all the video games and stuff.
I could probably see the prices drop to $50.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy now. I would wait.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
If any of our fans out there, all
if you got free tickets,
0.5 of you.
If you need a date, just, call me.
She's going to go and we're not.
That's cool.
I mean, I think out of all of us, he's probably the one that's going to get the date.
I mean,
it's got to be a female fan then.
Exactly.
What if it's not female? You down?
If it's a date.
I mean,
and if someone goes, if it's just let's go.
You don't have to put out.
Then, I'll go.
Okay,
the expectations are low here.
Yeah, it's look, I'm not gonna do anything, but whatever the case is,
he's not
saying
no to this. All right,
but I'm the best company because I'm the funniest one. So
who do you want to bring?
Who do you want? By a show of hands.
It's a competition here.
I'm never gonna go. Anyway, it's gonna be fun. Beltran will be there. Pete Alonso is probably gonna be there. They're gonna do a hot stove session, autographs that go to charity.
A lot of the hot stove sessions are gonna be baseball topics, health, some fitness, nutrition, some fun stuff.
Oh, then it definitely should be a 2 of you.
Well, you remember they're broken up into different segments, so depending on which one you go to, you might have a little bit more fun than another.
That's true. That's very true. I'll be in the batting cage. You guys can talk about going to the gym.
You're gonna be in the batting cages with the kidsies?
Yeah, fuck them. They got their whole lives to do this again. I'm close to the end. Jesus.
Do you take the old man approach and kind of push your way to the front and say?
Nah, you see, when people do that,
Kids
that pisses me
love
off.
me though. I know I will never do
Oh,
that.
so what? You cozy up to a kid and you're like, hey, can I?
No,
get
you
in
cozy
line
up to the single mother.
You've heard it here.
No, but I mean,
He's coming for you.
No, I mean, I think they're doing batting cages for everybody, not just the kids. Is it just for the kids? Yeah. So I mean, I get online and like
I would
let
like to
every
do batting
kid.
cages.
I'll wait till the end of the session to do it after the kids have gone. Like let the kids do it. Like I hate like I love catching like a ball. I'm not a ball hawker, but like catching BP. But when grown ass, I get it when
because you know what, those grown ass men, they'll go get the ball, probably try to get it autographed, and then resell it online.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
like, but like when they're like, come on, get right here. Like unless your kid's there and they're too young to ask for it themselves, shut the fuck up. And I actually got a ball once from a player because I didn't do it because there were no kids around, and it was a bunch of grown men, and they were all like, Jason, it was Jason Worth on the Nationals. At Citi Field, come on, Jason, come on, man, give me a ball. He looked at me.
Yeah.
I didn't say shit, and he threw it right at me, and I was like, thank you. And he's like,
got you.
And that was it, because I didn't beg
like a moment.
Like, you're grown-ass adults.
All right, take a hint
Chill.
here. Don't ask for it. And
He's the only one young enough at this table to beg for a ball. That's
true.
it.
You are the youngest.
Yeah.
I forget that all the time.
Yeah.
You
look the youngest.
I know. I get it all the time.
Thanks.
I get anywhere from like.
I mean, she looks like a 17-year-old. Like,
yes.
she looks like I should probably be on To Catch a Predator right now because she's in my apartment. Like, it's bad.
For the record, I am turning 30 next year.
Wow, she actually said it on air.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I was going to say my age, but.
We just lost most of our fans. They're like, oh, not too old.
Hey, I can play, kid. You know, I can blend in with the 18-year-olds.
Role playing.
That's okay, boomer.
I'm just gonna take this
boomer.
out.
That's not a pill.
I know.
That's not a pill. That's not.
But the way she said it, she just like I could fit in with the 18-year-olds. That was a very like.
Oh, she was an okay boomer moment.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
No. Yeah. Whatever. It was. Went over your head.
That was a millennial joke.
It really just did, and it.
I know the joke,
completely.
but.
It just, I thought it was funny, the fact that you said I could fit in with the 18-year-olds. It's
Yeah,
like
I got
someone older trying to fit in with the younger crowd.
The fact that he
it's just
has to explain
it don't, right? Like, she can't hang with you.
She could hang with me. It's not a big deal.
Actually, come to think about it, Victor just bought some tickets to like this like Romanian rave, like EDM, like. Look,
Well,
he turned red. He turned red. It's like that orange light.
Because I know.
Is there any way I can zoom in on his face at this
Yeah.
point?
Well,
so I can see
the reason
shariness
why,
happening?
it's because I've been trying to buy tickets for my cousins. who
First
really-
of all, this guy spent all
Exactly.
summer in Romania at every party in the entire country. In the morning, he was milking cows, and at night, I don't even want to think about what he was doing at night.
I wasn't partying every night. However, I did go last year with my cousins to the same festival. And this year, my cousins were like, "Oh, could you please reserve tickets for us? We'll pay you back once you come back to Romania." And I was just like, "You know what, guys? I'll get the tickets for you in advance. No big deal." However, when okay, Shane, when you're gonna play some house music in the back. When I used my email, all right, let me tell the story.
I'm listening to you.
When I used my email. Initially, they sent me 3 tickets, which were way too many, and then it was too expensive. So then I had to use a burner email, which is why I used the standing room only email, because they register every single email that signs up with it. So that's why I'm being called out for this.
No, I don't.
And then Shane texts me. He's
He actually tells the whole story. I was just making fun that you go into an EDM.
He goes.
He just wanted to see you get all flustered.
He goes, Victor.
Because he said you're too old to hang out with him.
I didn't say
She
you're too
shows
old,
up
too
in
old to
those
hang out with me.
headphones. She's gonna be.
Well, fine.
You did just say that.
No, no. She said
you can't hang. You're
okay,
too old.
I'm not 18 though. She said that she wants to hang with 18-year-olds. That's the difference. Fine, I'll say it. I'm 24. She can hang with the 24.
Could, not that I wanted to.
What a shit show.
Anyway,
All right.
we're completely off
Speaking
topic.
of shit shows,
this is gonna get
what's
a crank
next?
Post.
Brody Van Fuckface.
The quote of today.
BVWTF.
Last year, I came into thinking I knew what I didn't know. This year, I've learned that I didn't know what I didn't know. Understanding the marginal difference between winning and losing every day is probably the biggest eye-opening experience because the level of detail to which I've tracked the game this year versus in my previous job is significant.
Bro, what?
I knew what I didn't know. And I learned I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah, this is Confucius.
Anybody?
I was
it's
an
like
English
a haiku.
minor, and this makes no.
You ever watch
sense.
What Culture on YouTube? They do like stuff about like pop culture and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's one guy, Simon, for like the wrestling stuff, and he's got a segment that goes, "Nobody talks like that." And Brody, nobody talks like that, but you.
He probably thought about this really like. He thought about saying this, probably for at least like 2 days.
It's like when you're trying.
He's like, how do I phrase this?
Yeah, he's practicing.
How do I phrase this
he practices in the mirror.
He's probably
absolutely.
Like,
he put
checking
on
his suits and shit. He's like, okay, so I think I think I thought a putty cat. Fucking.
I did.
It's what a dick. You said you had some other quotes though.
I did give you quotes throughout. Pay attention.
That's right. It's a quote per EP.
Yeah, but I thought you had some like really shitty ones.
Okay.
That was it. Okay, well that's a good one. I mean.
Ideas for next segment.
What's our time on this, by the way? I'm curious.
We're at exactly 1 hour, so
nice.
we're almost there.
There we go.
So,
All right.
so the new segment is...
We have a lot of new segments today.
The Thinking Fan. So, the Thinking Fan is where we look at all the different fan pages and find some of the most thoughtful proposals for the Mets. And this one we found on the True New York Mets Fans Facebook page where someone said, should the Mets sign Jacoby Ellsbury on a flyer?
Jacoby!
I think yes.
Jacoby!
No, man. What the fuck? You're within budget and then you want to pay this fucking guy?
Did you not learn anything from Jason Bay? The dude is a walking injury. It's known as one of the worst contracts of the last... It might be the worst contract of the last 10 years. The Yankees signing this guy. He never played. He played like a few months.
He was good with the Red Sox.
He was great with the Red Sox, but he's old now. He's been injured for, I think...
Oh, shit. My bad.
4 years consistently or something like that. I mean, it's just like, you would legitimately have better luck with, like, Cespedes with 2 broken ankles.
Yeah. This is...
Enough.
No.
Enough.
It ain't going anywhere with that.
So, 'tis the season.
Yeah, so for the holiday spirit, we all came up with this segment where we see... Wow, Sheyne with the Santa hat. Look at that.
Yeah, take it back.
You gotta
He's modeling it for
Mets.
us.
There you go. So pretty much we went onto the Mets website or anything Mets related that was on sale for the holiday season, and these are probably the worst gifts to get for any Mets fan.
Or most interesting. So.
And yeah, a little bit like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah. That's what the fuck. So Ashley,
start us off.
Start us off.
So everybody loves Stranger Things. It's been super popular in the past few years with, 11 and all that. So we have Mr. Met actually riding one of the bikes from Stranger Things. And then we have a Demogorgon actually holding on to one of the Mets jerseys. So as you can see, it's quite affordable for, any
affordable.
of you.
40, 42
like
and
that's not a lot.
$42 for a bobblehead of Mr. Met
For
riding
this?
a bike? Yeah, and that busted vagina face? Like,
seriously.
I mean, what is... That's
Can you say that?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's our show. We say fuck. You think we can't say vagina face?
You called him Brody Van Fuckface, so I mean, if we
Hey,
can't
I'm only following suit.
if I can't say the vagine...
The vagine.
But I mean,
let's
look.
go with vagine.
And I love how full price each
Look at
one
this
is
guy.
respectively $59 and $49.
I wouldn't
before
pay
this
for
hit.
that much with the code and paying attention.
No, I'm not paying $34 for a bobblehead that's probably gonna.
I
gather
guarantee
dust.
$35 even with the percentage off.
Yeah,
that is
screw
too
that.
damn much.
I guarantee you, any Stranger Things fan and Mets fan would totally buy this.
Any? Would
they
you?
have to be both.
Would you?
Yeah, aren't you a Mets fan
You're
and a
both.
Stranger Things fan?
Yeah, so
Not as heavy on Stranger Things. I like it, but I don't go that hard.
I think if
I was at Stranger Things fireworks night. It was pretty cool.
If I had to pick, I would go with the Demogorgon because it was pretty badass in the season. However, I'm not paying. Like, if someone gives it to me for free, yeah, I'll take it. But I ain't paying $34 for that.
And what's your final most memorable pick?
My most memorable pick.
Memorable.
For $62.29.
Yeah, that I wouldn't buy.
It's a ukulele.
But
it's not even a fucking guitar.
Oh no, actually, so they do have a guitar as well, but I thought it was more interesting that there is a ukulele. Show of hands, how many people know how to play a ukulele?
I don't know how to play it. However, like I think a ukulele.
I have 2 guitars on my wall, and I barely know how to play that.
Like a ukulele is, I guess, cute because like you could play. I don't know,
What
like
makes
those
it
like Hawaiian. So, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Over the rainbow.
However,
That's
I
more
would
like
get-
Hawaiian.
Brody's smart.
I would get a Hawaiian themed ukulele,
Yeah, exactly.
not a Mets themed ukulele.
Well, maybe it's meant to go on your wall and not meant to
Yeah,
be
this
played.
is like a collector's item. I wouldn't go too
Is
far
it?
from it.
Is it
Not
for
too hard.
$63?
Absolutely.
All right, so
Thank you.
Victor, tell us about your 4 choices.
I don't understand how these jerseys are still on sale. So we'll start off with the top left. Would that be?
Darnode.
Yeah, with Darno's for
Darnode.
$71.99 for $72. You want an old?
It was
captured
originally $149.
jersey. No,
It's not even genuine. It doesn't even have the
it's a
7 in the
replica.
front.
It's a replica jersey. And then you go to the right, and then you see Matt Harvey, who hasn't played with the Mets in 2-3 seasons now. And then that one's on sale.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit less, though. What is that? At $48.99?
No, $68.99.
$68.99.
And
Okay, so
originally $141. It looks
it's
like.
$2 cheaper than the Darno jersey.
You save $73. He can't even go 73 innings now.
Then you have the Tim Tebow, which I'm over this. Like, it was funny. It was a good joke when he came in.
His dog just died. I felt so bad for him. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I felt so bad
R.I.P.
for
Let's
him.
have a moment of silence. Okay.
And then we
but
have
I'm
Jason
not-
Bay.
but I'm not buying Tim Tebow's jersey. Forget about this. And then you have Jason fucking Bay, which is like it's cool that it's one of the older Mets jerseys that doesn't have the pinstripes. But at least take off the number and then sell it for that.
Speaking of which, real quick, I forgot to include this. Stroman is making a huge campaign poll on Twitter to try to get them to bring back the black
jersey.
jerseys.
Oh, I
love
saw
that.
that. I would love the black
I would love
jerseys.
that. He's like, oh,
Black
sorry.
on my soul.
We gotta replay that in slow motion.
All right. So moving on to Sheyne.
I hope they do that. And
Yeah.
so, okay, so here we go.
So this is absolutely ridiculous. If you're willing to pay money for that, get the fuck out
What?
of here.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the Steve Harvey, the
Steve
fucking Matt Harvey, the Matt Harvey jersey. You got the Dark Knight bobblehead where he looks
Yo, it does not even look like Matt Harvey.
special. He's like, ugh. It's like he
Do you
doesn't even
think
look
his
like.
arms move?
Absolutely not. No, I mean there's.
It's a very awkward pitching stance too.
And how much is
But
this?
hold
I
on,
can't
is that a cape?
It's
That's a cape.
$33 or $34 or whatever. It's a cape.
What was it originally?
He doesn't even have the bat ears. It's
I
hard
can't
to
even
tell.
tell.
Who knows? It's
Whatever.
probably
But
like
the fact that
$50.
they're even still selling that is just pathetic.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the busted vagina bobblehead. My next one up. This is actually not that bad because this is for, like, you know, they always get out to a great start in April.
This
and
is
we're like,
like
this is our year. This is our year.
This is the April. This is the May.
And then
phase.
this is
Yes.
when it drops.
This is the May.
May to June.
All right, you're starting. You're making me drink. All right, okay. Come on. I know. I believed in you. Come on. And then my next one, after you've drank in May, is the knives in June. Because like Callaway said, you know, if we can only skip June, fucking idiot. That's where you slit your wrists because it's just like another year, same old shit.
Some nice knives.
But
if
my
you would like
biggest
them.
what the fuck present is
Dun, 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 dun.
how fucking creepy.
It's just like this, like.
Imagine
It's-
waking up in the middle of the night.
Right? Like
Who's that creeping?
I
through
get
the
if you want
window?
like a fat head of Mr. Met because you love Mr. Met. Or they have one for Mrs. Met too. It's a little less creepy, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I like Mrs. Met's body. But so does Thor. Anyway, so don't look at me like that. I can see you. And but it's Mr. Met looking like he's creeping through your window.
Yeah.
What the fuck to catch a mascot predator? And this is like $30-something or whatever it is. It's just who would buy that?
Children? For children? No?
Yeah, this looks
To
like a
teach
kid's
them what to
thing.
look out for, maybe, sure.
I mean, well, technically, he would be at the foot of their bed, so he would be, like, creeping from, like...
That's even worse. That's even worse. That's
I'm
like
not
him
taking
coming
that.
through the window. Anyway.
All right, so moving on to the one that's actually a really good gift, an interesting gift, are the bat mugs. So, actually posted on Instagram, Jeff
name and
McNeil.
My
Yeah,
name's Jeff.
Jeff was actually modeling his bat that got turned into a nice little mug.
I like those.
Yeah.
They had them for like a lot of professional sports.
Yeah, I think that's a good gift for a Mets fan. So any Mets fans out there looking to give another fellow Met fan a gift, go with the beer mug.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Who would you get? I know she'd get Conforto because she's a fangirl.
I would get the Grum. If it's available.
Who would I get? Maybe I just get a generic like Mets one because they have the ones I've just met or like City.
Oh yeah, actually, then if that's on the table, then I would just get the generic Mets one.
Probably. And you get Conforto, I'm sure, right?
I would get Conforto, but you can find these actually on Jeff McNeil's Instagram, so go check it out.
My name is
check
Jeff.
The website, find those bat mugs and give someone very nice this year.
Oh, Jeff.
Over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's reversed. Okay. And now it's time for
Mets me.
Mets me.
All right, starting it off. Oh God, it sounds like you're trying to take over the world.
So we brought up this meme earlier, but it was with Noah Syndergaard. It was attached along Noah Syndergaard's tweet. It was the Yankees. We won 100+ games. And then it's the angry cat as a Mets fan, of course, is that you still suck and lost though.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Next up.
Next one.
You found this one, right?
Oh, this is great.
Yeah, if you can't beat them,
beat a trash can.
Join them with the scratched out.
Yeah,
scratch it out. Beat them with the trash can until you can. The Houston Astros.
There you go.
They're a little bit late because of the whole trash gate era.
It's still going on, though.
You know
it's still happening. Yeah. We may not have a manager next year because of it. Next up. Scary scene in my house late last night. Heard 2 bangs on the back door. So I did what any sane person would do. Went upstairs, grabbed my bat, and got ready for an off-speed pitch.
John Boy.
John, do you watch John Boy's videos?
I watched. I only watched it when he was showing the Houston Astros.
John Boy's funny though. You ever watch John Boy?
No.
He's funny.
And I've seen a couple of them where he comments on like what they said.
What happened? Like, he does, every day he'll do one during the season for some crazy shit that happened the day before. And it's like 30 seconds to 2.5 minutes.
But
Very
it's good.
funny. Next up.
Breaking news: after the latest Astros scandal, the Houston Astros have changed their official team logo to the Houston Asterix.
That's what I was saying. I was like, they gotta get an asterisk. I like that logo. And now some Mets ones.
I was dying of laughter. I mean, I'm not sure because of the quality of
it's
the
hard
screen.
to read it, but it says.
But pretty much with MLB, there was this whole thing going on for a couple of weeks is that I'm going to tell my future kids that this is blank. So the MLB went out and put up a whole highlight reel of Bartolo Colon's hits, strikeouts, or mishaps at the plate, and they said, I'm going to tell my future kids that this is Babe Ruth. Which, when I saw this, I was... Like, I thought they won. Hilarious. It was game over.
The crying face.
It was perfect. He looks like Babe Ruth.
A little husky, yeah.
He has the thickness.
Babe Ruth was a fat dude.
He was a thick guy.
He was a fat dude. Yeah, he had a mistress living what? Fuck you just say to me?
I'm gonna tell my kids that this is.
He was bigger than me.
I'm gonna tell my kids this is what's his name, Mike Fieri. Not Mike Fieri, Guy Fieri.
You fucked your whole.
You know why? Because I thought Mike Francesca, and then I combined the two. Yeah, my bad, guys. All right, fuck that. We'll cut it in post.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
Babe Ruth had mistresses living on the same floor as him and his wife.
I would tell my kids that this is Hodor.
Fuck you.
All right, so.
No, yeah, let everyone think that with that massive cock of his. All right, moving on.
Y'all really quiet, Sheyne. I don't know how we could bounce back. All right. This is a 10-year challenge. I didn't send this one in.
I did. So everyone's doing this 10-year challenge. You know, they change from 1 year to the next.
Well,
27.
1 decade to the next.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, math.
Thanks. Well, if you can add here from 27 rings, they got none, and they still are at 27 rings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Basic math?
Yeah, but then you could argue the same thing. The Mets have a 30-year challenge.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that they're always like, we don't walk around telling everyone how fucking great we are.
Yes.
How great our 86 team was.
Yeah. we talk about how great they were, but we also are realistic about where we're at now. All right, and the final one.
I sent this one. It was so funny. This is a quote from the Wilpons. We'll try our absolute best to ruin this team even more as much as possible.
I mean, they didn't really say that, but you know,
it's funny to know.
It's pretty accurate though. All right, so that's it. That's all we got, yo.
Well,
all right, so whenever this
everyone.
episode goes up, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
With this new setup and, with the addition of Ashley, I think going into this 2020 season, it's going to be a lot of fun. So please stay tuned for more content. We appreciate everyone's patience. And
please like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe,
click
everything.
that bell icon.
Absolutely.
Or
Send
don't
us
do any
some
of it.
messages too while you're at it.
Yeah, it'd be cool just to have a conversation going. So
we'd like to hear from you. So hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, well, our main page right now that we're working on is Instagram, so you can follow us at standingroomonlyny.com. Please don't forget the NY.
Yes.
Also on YouTube
You'll
for
find
subscribing.
it in the comments below.
Yep, we'll also have Standing Room Only NY for YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And then
Twitter as well.
And Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be reaching out to other platforms as well. So to cap off the show, I'm Victor.
I'm Sheyne.
And I'm Ashley. And this is Standing Room Only.
Would you like to try that again?
Let's go.
Round 2.
Oh, and we're going to be getting a new camera next week.
Bye.
Bye.